Yo, what is going on, Rizbos here, and today I'm back with another week of the weekly recaps for the WBE, and I am not alone.
Hey, what is going on, WBE? My name is JB Westside, and let's get right into some really great games this week.
Absolutely. So, let's just not waste any time. Let's just jump right into it. First up here, we have the Minnesota Vikings, coached by Dan, aka A-Drive, versus the Milwaukee Sawsbugs, coached by Magnitude. Dan brought a team of Gastrodon, Kieran Black, Skarmory, Florges, Talonflame, and Mega Manectric versus Steve's Politoed, Thunderous Therian, Quillfish, Mega Swampert, Chestnut, and Heatmore.
Alright, I really like the combination of Gastro and Skarmory to annoy Megapert. If he gets the reads right, that combo can essentially make Megapert useless if Dan is able to keep his predictions on point most of the game. And once again, Z Shock, as always, has zero switch-ins, so just Z move something forehead, which is exactly what happened.
Now, when I was watching the game, and as I watch the game, I write my notes as I go. And so I'm thinking, first turn, Steve doesn't lead with Thunderous. I'm like, okay, Steve just doesn't throw out a Z move early. And then as soon as Thunderous comes in, Z move.
Yeah, immediately.
Okay. Steve just kind of like, here it is. Have fun. Kill something.
Yeah, it works, man. You know, you just pick up a kill with it. Unfortunately, that was his only kill this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
and Thunderous does his
Thunderous
thing.
kind of just does his thing. Clicks Z move and gets a kill. I thought Dan did a fantastic job of getting Kieran Black in for free. He baited a switch with Gastro and then doubled into it. Ended up subbing up on Quillfish, and that just allowed Kieran Black to pick up two KOs immediately after. And once KB got rid of Mega Swampert, it was just as simple as Dan cleaning up the game, making the safe plays, and just cleaning up fairly easily.
Yeah, Dan played super well and just kind of ran through Steve's team, just playing offensively and preserving Kieran Black, which, as you said, kind of ran over Steve. He didn't need to make many offensive reads.
No.
However, on the flip side, Steve didn't really play super offensively. At the time, we haven't seen his upload yet. I don't think he has uploaded.
No, yes,
Not yet. Yep. So it's like his usual offensive playstyle, which he played last week and really worked. He didn't play offensively this week, and we kind of saw the other side of the coin, where if Steve plays offensively, we see how good and how really good that team can be with it. But when he tried to play on the back foot right away, it didn't work for him. His team's more played for an aggressive play style, and if we see that out of him more, he'll pick up a couple more wins.
Yeah, it's just like he did not really have the offense to deal with the combo of Gastro, Skarm, and Florges, and what team really does if played well, and Dan played it perfectly.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that people don't have answers for. In fact, what do you have for a well-played Beartick? Our next game is the Bronx Bearticks versus the New York Marauders, which is PokeMMD versus Mr. Talent.
I'll allow it.
Now, yeah, you can start on this one, JB.
Joey brought a team of Comfey, Mega Gallade, Crocodile, Gothitelle, Toxapex, and Bronzong, while Drew brought a team of Nihilego, Empoleon, Gyarados, Gourgeist, Ambipom, and Latias.
Holy cow thickness. Like, Pex and Bronzong are just fat.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Like plain and simply, like, on Drew's entire roster, he does not really have anything that deals with that combination. And it showed this game. The Bronzong set was awesome. Charge Beam for Gyarados, not letting it set up, and, just being a more offensive Bronzong. Picking up 2 kills of Bronzong is just incredible in and of itself.
Wild.
Yeah, you don't see that every day.
No. The amount of pressure Talent had on him was kind of crazy because everything got so worn down, and then Mega Gallade had the ability to just come on in when things started to get worn down from trying to break. That Joey's team kind of showed exactly what it's meant to do. Sit there and be stupid thick until Mega Gallade needs to come on in and win the game.
Yeah, Crocodile in this case as well did the same thing. Drew played really well. The Ghost CMC Ambipom was really cool. Rock Slide Gourgeist was good Volcarona bait if he brought it and predicted his opponent to go for Quiver. Unfortunately, the Volcarona did end up coming, but yeah. I think this is the first time someone's brought Shed Shell against Joey and had it not be useless. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're correct in there.
It's either, they over-prefer Goth and it doesn't come, or they, prefer Goth and it comes. Or they don't prefer Goth and it comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then it just kind of wrecks them. It's one of the two. It's never
exactly
the correct side for Talent.
It's exactly what Gothitelle is meant to do, and
yeah. Now, the big thing with this is I think the Latias set could have been a little bit more fine-tuned.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Shadow Ball plus Psychic and like Calm Mind could have been a really, really cool set this week. And maybe something like Ice.
So,
I was about to say,
it
depends. It's 4 moveset syndrome's really big on that. But yeah, I think the Latias could have been a little bit better. Not exactly sure how that 4th move would have edged out because what you would pick on it. but it could have been better. I loved the Ghost Team Z Ambipom, like JB said, though. Sure. That was such cool prep.
Yep.
Talent's bringing a lot of heat from week to week, and it's super really fun to watch.
It's really fun to watch for sure. He didn't play bad at all this game. He just didn't have the offense necessary to break Pex and Bronzong. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Joey once again, like the typical Joey fashion this season, set up his game plan perfectly and just allowed something to come in and clean. Like, sets his opponent up so well to just do exactly what he wants him to.
Exactly, and it's not nothing against the people he plays. Like, Talent in this game played really well. It's just the team he had doesn't have the ability to go toe to toe with Joey's team, and the matchup is nowhere near in Talent's favor.
Exactly, and for like we said a few times already, he did what he could, and it just wasn't enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes like matchups like these, you can do so much and bring so many cool sets, but in the end, it really just isn't enough for how they can just bring. Toxapex and Bronzong.
Yeah.
We cannot forget the bell for whom it tolls.
It died, but
It died, but like it did so much work. It just sat there. I wonder how many times it chimed. Probably chimed quite a few times. Probably. That's a good comment question of the day.
Alright. If someone go count the amount of times Bronzong moved, like the animation in that video.
I want it, please.
We'll pin it.
We'll pin it. But going into our next game here, we have the New Orleans Pelipers versus the I need some help with this.
Nejmjan.
Nuzleafs. Thank you.
Yep.
Pokemon 7 with the Pelipers and Automathic with the Nuzleafs.
Yep. John brought a team of Diggersby, Alakazam, Mudsdale, Megadancy, Vaporeon, and Toxicroak. Otto brought a team of Slowbro, Tangela, Salazzle, Latios, Clefable, and Raikou.
Now, first things first, Old versus the New was a really good title on John's part because it kind of showed where his previous team was and where his new team was. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying Otto played bad by any means of the term, but it just kind of goes to show how much John's team has improved since his transactions.
Yeah, he's playing his team very well right now. Just looking at it on paper, Bandit Diggersby gets a kill versus everything but Cobalion on Otto's roster, but even then you can catch that thing on a switch with Earthquake and it's dead. But yeah, Return was just super free this game for Diggersby. There was really no switch in that Otto had to it. It was pretty much relying on revenging, and every time it came in, he pretty much got a kill. Only ended up picking up one in the game, but it's still a kill.
Yeah, the amount of pressure it put on Otto was kind of crazy. The one thing I really didn't like from Otto's side was kind of how passively he played a little bit with Tangela.
Specifically with Tangela, and it's a good example of how that mod can be pretty useful, but other times it's really just more of a detriment to his team. It really didn't do anything. It let Toxicroak get set up for free, which that Toxicroak set was really cool. It's always cool to see an undervalued and underappreciated mon be able to have such a good matchup like it did here. Just putting in a ton of work, had great coverage against Otto's team. Another lead matchup L, unfortunately, for John. But other than that, it felt like every single read and double right this game. He just was playing very, very well this game.
John really kind of it seemed like he was in Otto's head from turn 4. Mm-hmm. It was kind of uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, it's just it's like the new car smell for Otto. He's not comfortable with his team yet. He's a very capable player, so I do expect him to be able to bounce back from a few L's. But it's gonna take him a little bit more time to get used to his team. It really showed how much more comfortable with their separate teams are that John is with his.
Absolutely. The one thing I do want to point out, though, is how cool Raikou could have done in this match. Raikou had the chance to do a lot of work with Hidden Power Ice and Shadow Ball. Mm-hmm. If you look at John's team, he didn't really have a lot besides, the Magneton.
Yeah, which...
Other than that, things got chunked.
For sure. There were a couple plays that John made that he thought were misplays. He put Rocks on Mudsdale on the Raikou HP, and then the Vaporeon Toxic on Slowbro into Latios. He thought they were end up being misplays, but they worked out for him based on rolls, and the plays that Otto ended up making just ended up working out better for John. So it's just sort of the thing that happens. You predict what you think is going to work well, but it ends up working out better for you because of the way your opponent plays. So it's just a weird thing with Jazz League. And this is just another I just wanted to showcase how terrifying late game Zam was this game. There was zero things that Otto could do against that thing late game, and it did what it did.
Also, shoutouts to the horse.
Shoutouts to the horse. 2 more kills for Mudsdale.
Absolute goat of a mon.
For sure. I mean, it's a horse.
JB and his ground types, man. JB and his ground types.
It's a horse. It's not really a goat, but I get what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Going into our next game here, we have the Newcastle Neato Kings versus the Rochester Rhydons, which is Patters with 2 R's, I remember this time, versus Iron Boffin. Now, it is 2 R's. I was reading his channel. I always spelled it with 1 R, and I feel really bad now.
I never knew that. Sorry.
I feel really bad for not using 2 R's from now on. But Patters brought a team of Taboo Coco, Delphox, Hippowdon, Alolan Executor, Snorlax, and Venomoth versus Boffin's team of Mega Altaria, Shaman, Jolteon, Staraptor, Blaziken, and Weavile.
Alright. Wish Cobra Protect Delphox was cool. Weavile bait to get rid of that mon. That's the first thing I noticed on Patter's side. Double Whirlwind is awesome because no one likes Kroku, and also phasing for hazards is like we've seen so many times this season is really good against Boffin's team. T-Spikes is great versus him, and just whirlwinding, poisoning a lot of things on your opponent's team is always a win con. As you can see, Venomoth ended up picking up 3 kills. I believe all 3 of them it was already dead for, which is wild because of how good Toxic Spikes were in this game.
Yeah, that's one of my first notes here is how crazy Toxic Spikes were. Even because you got him up like turn 3 or turn 2, something like that, so early on, and it kind of showed how weak Boffin is when it comes to hazard removal.
Yeah.
Like, Staraptor gets defogged, but it doesn't like running it. Mega Altaria gets defogged. Yeah, it doesn't like to run it. Blaziken can run it, but that's a Blaziken lull.
Yeah.
It really felt how crazy it was. How Patters' plays, just how nuts Venomoth was in this game, versus how much work Delphox could have been in too.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing a more defensive Delphox put in work. It's pretty cool.
It was really fun to see.
End up picking up kills, but it just was able to switch into things, take hits, force stuff out. It just put in a lot of work without really clicking buttons.
Yeah, there wasn't really anything crazy about Boffin's play this week. Just not being able to prep for T-Spikes and Patters just playing offensively and how much pressure he can put on.
But it was way too late in the game. Half his team had already died to Toxic Spikes. Staraptor was in range of recoil. He was forced into scarfing himself into Roost on Staraptor to keep it alive, which was unfortunate. But one thing I want to point out, Wish Lefty's Toxic Jolteon was questionable. I get it has its merits, being able to pass wishes. Well, they're not really big wishes with Jolteon, but something like AV to help with Coco coverage / other special attackers, and giving him more, just offensive firepower with something like Jolteon would have been better in this matchup in hindsight for sure. But I just feel like Boffin needed to play more aggressively against something like Snorlax mid-game.
Yes.
Get something like Blaziken or Weavile in to, defog versus it, or low kick, or even maybe then Z Focus Punch to nuke Snorlax, because that thing just signed it for free once again and just, did a little bit more than you would like to see. Or even double back into Staraptor in close combat. He just lost a ton of momentum versus Snorlax this game.
Yeah, so Snorlax just kind of sat in front of him, and he really wasn't able to deal with it all that well. And that kind of was like the theme with it, not being able to deal with Patters' team.
Yeah.
It felt like the team he brought wasn't exactly the best team he could have. So I was kind of questioning that.
Playing more he ended up sacking off Weavile. I forget how it died, but keeping that alive, keeping Blaziken. Blaziken on paper has a really good matchup against the things that Patters brought. It has good coverage against his team. Being able to get rid of Hippo later on, or even with Weavile or Shaman, get rid of Hippo and Blaziken goes in offensively. So
yeah, Blaziken died to the Alolan Executor.
That's true. Yes, it did.
Died to Giga Drain. That's how kind of it really whittled down Blaziken was. Yeah, if your Blaziken's dying to an Alolan Executor, that Alolan Executor is the fastest tall tree I've seen in a long time. Or your Blaziken's really slow and not hitting hard enough.
Yeah. I believe it was low, and then it just happens that it was in range and wasn't able to finish off the Eggy. But just Venomoth putting in a ton of work from the grave, and just Coco doing Coco things again.
Yeah, and I don't want to feel like we're bashing Boffin.
No, we're not at all. It's just
it's like I want to make sure that we know.
It's just small little tweaks to his team. Every week, he could turn these games around so quickly if he just did something slightly different in prep.
And I think one of these weeks here coming up, we're gonna see Boffin get one team just right, and we're gonna see how much of a powerhouse this team is.
Yeah, it's
because looking at it,
really
it's a fun team. Yeah. It's a fun team. I want that team.
Yeah, Star Raptor put in a lot of work. It did a ton of damage, I think, just wasn't able to pick up, the kills. Maybe get hazards up, and Star Raptor's able to pick up a couple kills that game. Maybe you end up winning the game. It's just, slight little things in prep that can change, like, the entire thing from often. It's sort of like Patters, even early season, where, he would just barely miss out on getting wins, and he started turning around, and Patters has been playing fantastically the last 2 weeks. So hopefully we can see something similar to Boffin.
Yeah, absolutely.
He definitely has.
Rolling in, rain dancing into our next game here.
I don't like you.
We have the South Texas Sableyes, coached by Invivid Guller, versus the Tennessee Trubbish, coached by Deathly I Am.
Hey.
Now, Deathly bought a team of Mega Beedrill, Kofagrigus, Embor, Greninja, Tyrantrum, and Celesteela, versus Vivid's team of Mega Aggron, Tapu Bulu, Hawlucha, Neato King, Mew, and Poliwrath.
Support Rain Dance. Hawlucha is flames.
That's king.
Such a good set.
I saw that in Heat of the Week, and I instantly thought, what did he just get styled on with?
What just happened? Yeah. But,
Deathly just got styled on this week,
he
in
kind
all
of
honesty.
did. Once, Vivid told us that his set was Belly Drum Poliwrath in his video, it's like, wait, if he gets set up, that's just, the game's over.
Yeah, no joke.
But I don't want to undersell how valuable Tapu Bulu was this game. Just super annoying, just subbing.
Oh, so
Nature's
much.
Madness, Lead Sheet, Recovery Bulu is the most annoying Bulu set, ever, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, people so underestimate, defensive Bulu. It's like, oh, it dies to, Hidden Power Poison, Kartana, huh? It's like, nah, that thing is bulky.
Yeah.
It's hard to break.
Yeah, especially when he played it as well as he did this game. He just played it perfectly, subbing up on the things he could sub up on. Nature's Madness and doing just a ton of damage to stuff like Celesteela. I believe he got one off on Kofagrigus as well. He 1v1 the Kofagrigus with the Bulu, which was disgusting.
Yeah, it was so funny to me to watch. In another world, Kofagrigus wins that 1v1 90% of the time. But it's that 10% where Tapu Bulu is just the right set.
Yeah, it's the 10% where Shadow Ball doesn't break this up. It's just disgusting. But yeah, it just boils down to Deathly just let Bulu do exactly what it wanted. He was never able to get Mega Beedrill or Embor in front of it when it wasn't behind the sub, and his team was just so chipped that he was able to. Vivid was able to bring in Hawlucha, click the Rain Dance button, get Poliwrath in, and just clean up the game. Yeah,
I like that Hawlucha died to the poison as well.
It just made it
to make it even easier. It made it perfect.
Yeah.
The Thunderwave turn 1 was really interesting in my opinion, just to kind of read on the Gren to get that. Also, can I just point out that Vivid rocks the dad hats? I want his hat collection, dude. Have you seen his hat collection? It's nuts. I want it.
Guess I need to pay more attention to it.
I love watching his videos just to see what hat he's wearing.
That's hilarious.
But going back to the task at hand here, it felt like another week where Deathly just kind of didn't think through the game. Letting Pokemon go let him just get chipped down by Neato King into range where, like you said, Lucha went in, Rain Dance died to Toxic, and Poliwrath picked up 3 kills.
Yep.
I don't understand him sacking Gren to Neato as well. If he didn't have Shuriken, then why go into it? Your Thunder Wave, you're not going to outspeed it. As Vivid said in his commentary as well, I very much agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure on it.
Vivid set up his in-game perfectly, got Poliwrath in, and 8-click buttons.
Yeah, he had his line the entire game, and he went with it.
Yep. It's always cool to see a game plan work out that well. Sorry.
Oh, it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Moving into our next game, which was a really fun watch as well, we have the Milwaukee Bewares, coached by Wolf Glick, versus the LA Spice, coached by K. Cray. Now, first things first.
So much to talk about in this game, dude. There's so much.
Wolf, can we just get Night Mode Kimono? Please?
Yeah, we had Kimono Wolfie last week. We had Night Mode Wolfie this week. Is the world ready for the combination of the two? I feel like the universe would just implode in on itself if we got Kimono, Night Mode Wolfie. What would happen? Yeah,
that would be. I kind of want to know, but I kind of don't because I'm scared for the world.
Yeah.
But going into Wolf's intro was kind of funny. As Wolf was, as Drake once said, in his feels. Is that song still relevant?
Maybe.
I don't know. But Jesus Creasers did Wolf play Excadrill to perfection.
Yeah, their teams that were brought, Wolfie brought a team of Tornadus T, Excadrill, Mega Blastoise, Gigalith, Gengar, and Weezing. K-Cree brought a team of Starmie, Garchomp, Ninetales, Crobat, Mega Houndoom, and Mimikyu. Okay.
It was nuts.
Yeah,
it was nuts how crazy Excadrill played.
Yep.
It was perfect. It was just perfect.
That's what you come to expect from someone like Wolfie, who is, great of a player as he is. HPI's Gigalith was also just incredible to the KO and Garchomp.
Mm-hmm.
That got
that was
rid
good
of
to see.
K-Cree's only Excadrill, even sort of check. That's the only thing really that was able to eat multiple hits from it. But we had Night Mode, then we had the HPS Gigalith. But I think the best thing that happened was Gengar living up to its nickname. That might be the best thing I've ever seen. It was nicknamed Death Fodder. He just switched it in, and it took the Surf from Starmie and just dropped. It lived up to his name perfectly.
Perfect. It was the best. This game had so many hype moments. One of the most hype moments for me was the amount of pressure that Wolf's entire team put on K-Cree.
Yeah.
There was nothing on Wolf's team that was just there to die, besides Gengar. But, yeah.
I do like how K-Cree, she aggro Z-moved very early game with Garchomp versus Gigalith after it took the first HP Ice. But Chomp, as low as it wasn't really able to eat any hits. So I thought it was a pretty low risk play to potentially KO something on the Switch. She ended up losing her Garchomp for nothing, but I like that aggressive sort of play style from her. It was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
But
Kay didn't really play terribly. Mega Houndoom was kind of cool this game.
Now, the only thing, she knew the mistake immediately, but she willowed in front of the Excadrill does behind herself. She knew immediately that it was a mistake, but you kind of just got to take a second and think about that before you click it, because, you break the sub and then maybe you're able to do something from there. But, yeah, it's just, you got to pay attention to those little things.
Yeah, it's the little things that can cost you a lot of, especially differential, going into the halfway part of the season, past the halfway point. It's getting to the point where a lot of these coaches are starting to figure out how far in the playoff contention they are.
Yeah, you need to start thinking about differential a little bit more.
Yeah, and like I said, Kay did not play terribly, but it was more of a testament to how good Wolf Glick is playing right now, and how crazy the man is at battling.
Yeah, there was one particular play. He used Weezing to set up a T-Spike in front of Crobat first, and then K-Cree immediately defogged. So Wolfie got in that situation again, Weezing versus Crobat, where he T-Spiked in front of her, knowing that she would defog, and then landed a Willow on the defog, which was a great play, and it took the Brave Bird damage away, allowing Tornadus to end up getting another region boost to stay around a little bit longer. That was just a phenomenal play.
Yeah, Weezing just putting in work as it really is kind of proving itself to be a really good bottom-tier mon.
I believe it also got both
of
its kills from Beyond, if I'm not mistaken, with 2 lives.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So another.
It was kind of nuts.
Of that. Pretty weird to see. But
yeah, it's a weird week.
Sub Excadrill was super clean, especially the way he played it versus Starmie, subbing and letting it die to T-Specs and Life Orb, and it's just will be played.
Speaking of weird, that Excadrill was just wild.
Yep.
Subbing at the perfect time, keeping the Starmie low, letting it die, and just winning was kind of funny.
Yep. Wolfie just playing phenomenally once again.
Speaking of playing phenomenally, let's jump into our last game of the week. The Pittsburgh Pichus, coached by Nexus, versus the Free State Torracats, coached by Duncan Can't Die. Now, Duncan brought a team of Sableye, Zygarde 10%, Xurkitree, Mega Tyranitar, Jirachi, and Araquanid, versus Nexus's Zapdos, Goodra, Duoblade, Swampert, Mega Medicham, and Tangrowth. Thick!
Yep. Zydog, there was a Zydog double versus Sableye in versus Tang. After it had shown Toxic, predicting Zapdos or Dublade to come in was a great read. As was Toxicing after, Duncan knew his win con and executed perfectly. He was able to get, they both were able to spread Toxics on each other, but Duncan was able to get that read right and really got a ton of momentum early game, and
Yes. Yeah, it kind of showed how crazy Xurkitree is and how it can be kind of nuts with Z moves. As we saw, +3 Fairy Z pushing the Goodra was kind of interesting to see, because it literally just meant, okay, Xurkitree just kind of wins here.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Just to clarify that last sentence, because I said it really stupidly, the Zydog Toxic the Tangrowth on the doubles, the one that was already talking. Anyway, just to clarify, because I said that really stupid.
But yeah, it just kind of shows Duncan played really aggressively this game, and it really paid off
for him. Those MV builds coming through, man.
Yeah, MV really helping out Duncan, but it's not just like MV building the best teams ever.
You build a great
Duncan,
team, but you have to play well.
Yeah.
Duncan
Yeah,
did.
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Exactly. It's just like like Nexus had really nothing for like circuitry, especially once it got set up. The only answer like that I could even really think of on his roster was like Sash Miracle Swampert. Like he just had nothing that really that could really take that one on at +3, and yeah, just circuitry put in a ton of work this game.
Yeah, and good on Duncan for being able to play that well.
Yeah.
He thought about going into Mega T-Tar instead of Circuitry originally when I think it was Swampert went down. I think it was Zapdos that was in.
Yeah, it was like right after he had
Zapdos
done
was
up
in.
Webs and he didn't want to D5
Yeah,
degree.
so good on him realizing that Circuitry just kind of pushes his entire team back right now. So good on Duncan for that. But yeah, that is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that being said, be sure to go check out the WBE store, linked down below. Buy your t-shirts, whatever team you want to rep. I got my basic WBE since I am an indifferent person, even though I am locking Duncan each week. Hush, hush. Be sure to also go follow the WBE Twitter as well, at Pokemon WBE, and you guys can pick each week as we go with those. And with that, what was your guys' game of the week this week?
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious because we had a lot of good ones.
It's a really
JB, your final thought.
Hashtag disable adblock.
And with that, we are going to get on out of here today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in as always, and peace out, Scouts.
Peace.